Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from blockchain to audience monetization, and obviously so much more here on Phunware's channel. Joining us, as always, COO Randall Crowder. Always a pleasure to have you back, good sir.
What's going on? That's the kind of intro I like, Kyle. Man, you got me all fired up now.
With the news that you're dropping, we need to be fired up. So we're going to kick it off for the blockchain fans because you guys just kicked off PhunWallet on iOS and Android, and you're also doing a bit of a sweepstake with 10 million PHUN tokens. So what exactly is the deal with this PhunWallet?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, what's exciting is, we've just launched it, but we aren't just kicking it off. Unlike every other, and I want people to define us differently. Most of what people talk about is 100% a crypto project. We are a company commercializing an ecosystem built on blockchain, built on cryptocurrencies. Totally different thing. We're a real company solving a real problem in the real world. And that is a competitive advantage in this kind of environment because there's so many pretenders out there. And so rather than go out and sell illegal unregistered securities, we actually used our own money and we built the foundation of this crypto enabled ecosystem that we're developing, and then we released it to the world. And so now it's just part of our natural kind of sprint, part of our natural roadmap process. So what we're trying to do is build a truly decentralized data economy. In order to do that well, we have a dual token ecosystem. We have PhunCoin, which is a regulated security token that tries to value data and give users control over their data. And then you have PhunToken, which is more like what people would be familiar with, a utility token that is seeking to value engagement. And so the best way to think about this is, if I send you a survey that says, hey, are you interested in buying a car? And you say yes or no, either answer is valuable to me. I'll give you PhunToken just for telling me, are you interested in buying a car or not? Now, fast forward a month, Lexus comes to Phunware and says, hey, we want to market to all of your users that are interested in buying a car. We say, great, here's our audience segments that are interested in buying a car. I've now sold your data, something you told me about yourself, in a very private, secure way. I don't know you. I don't have any personally identifiable information about you, but I know that your device would be somebody who they might want to put some advertising on after maybe a game of Words with Friends. So I've sold your data. I'm going to give you PhunCoin for that. Now, the kicker is, in our system, you can decide whether or not you want that data to be sold, because you own your data. And so this is an entirely new model. Much like Bitcoin is trying to disintermediate, financial institutions that kind of sit in the middle, we want to do the exact same thing with data. You don't need Facebook and Google sitting in the middle, exploiting your data and controlling that relationship with brands. And brands don't really have loyalty to Facebook and Google. If they could go straight to the source, they would. But nobody's ever spent the time building a model that would allow them to efficiently go to the source until now.
That's incredible, man. I always love your knowledge base and exactly what you guys are doing here within the crypto space. It's definitely intriguing for sure. Now, aside from crypto, this is a broad scope into your ecosystem, but Phunware closes acquisition of a high-performance computer provider called Lyte Technology, and you guys did a cash down of 3.32 million. What exactly is kind of the computer side of what you guys are getting into, and what are they doing?
Yeah, so there's a couple things to unpack here that are exciting for people to understand. First and foremost, understand this. As much as we all love software, as much as I love turning our enterprise cloud platform into a true software as a service business with 75% gross margins on the mobile side, all of our software, everything you touch, only exists at the pleasure of hardware. That's it. So some brave company, some brave entrepreneur and a lot of capital somewhere built hardware for you to enjoy software. And probably all roads lead to Amazon at this point. So for 10 years, Amazon built the very real hardware infrastructure that would be the foundation for what we now call the cloud. That data lives somewhere. They're just getting paid for it. That's why they're one of the most valuable companies on the planet. They laid the very real brick and mortar foundation for on-demand delivery of products and goods. We all think we just click on a button on a mobile app and stuff just shows up at our door. Well, there's a lot of very real assets in the world that make that possible. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is this really cool internet money, right? Well, guess what? There are massive warehouses of computer systems, high-end computer systems, doing very advanced processing in order to make Bitcoin a reality. And so as you think about, Lyte Technology, what it actually represents to us is it's high-end computing systems distributed all over the world, and eventually hundreds of thousands of them, all representing individual nodes. So we've basically investing in the same assets to create the infrastructure for the processing power that will be required to actually have a decentralized data economy. You can't just say, I want to have a decentralized data economy, and then go to Facebook. Guess what? Facebook represents single point of failure. It represents vulnerability. It represents centralization. But if you can create a decentralized Oracle network is actually what it's called, but these decentralized nodes that are effectively the window to the data that we see on the internet, in the traditional web, that mobile devices can access, that they're doing the processing, they're doing the access. That ability has never been, no one's ever been able to do it before. And so you have to have that, computing power. You have to have that hardware infrastructure. So instead of having a single data center run by Amazon, we want to have hundreds of thousands of high-end computer systems all running, basically the back end for our decentralized data economy. And it's revolutionary.
And the cool thing about it too, I was looking kind of just through the structure of the deal here, and you guys kind of have them set up on a term agreement where I guess what's the contingent of generating about 12 million for the year. So I found that very intriguing as well. Is there anything you want to touch on that? Because this is like real revenue generating stuff.
It's a great point, and I'm glad you read the tea leaves, because there's some things that we can't say, and there's some things when you think about auditors and GAAP versus non-GAAP and all these accounting regulations that we always want to adhere to as a public company. However, read the tea leaves on that. So 12 months post closing, a conservative estimate for them to get the full benefit of the acquisition would be $12 million or $1 million a month. Remember, this is not an acquisition that's like some loss leader. This is a profitable company. This has a very real impact to our P&L, which is why in that same press release, we actually issued revenue guidance. So not only are we going to see, we expecting to see 50% growth quarter over quarter from Q2 to Q3. Now we're in a position to see over 100% growth from Q3 to Q4. If I'm a shareholder, I'm paying attention to that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, did we just, and we've been talking about this during COVID, we were going to hit our low water mark while we were focusing on establishing partnerships, building this framework, building this foundation, and then we were going to start, climbing up into the right from here. Did we just signal up into the right from here? I don't know. You tell me. 50% quarter over quarter growth followed by 100% quarter over quarter growth. It feels good to me. I'm excited about it. And we closed the deal without diluting shareholders. If I'm a shareholder, I love that. So now people always thought, so we have what's called an at the market offering with B. Riley, allows us to sell shares, into the public markets if we want to. That's helping us build a relationship with a very reputable institution, B. Riley. But we're quite frankly not really using it that much. It's a $25 million ATM. We've used, a little bit more than maybe 10% of that. So not a lot, we could have, but that would have diluted shareholders, and we wouldn't be maximizing shareholder value at these price points. And so we have a lot of other good relationships as well, like the one we announced in this press release that was, simple debt, no equity kickers, no warrants, no conversions, no dilution. Just they did the due diligence. They saw what this acquisition represented. They saw what our existing business is doing. And they were comfortable, giving us a debt instrument that allowed us to protect shareholder value. That's our job. That's what we should be doing. So you have this accretive acquisition from a strategic standpoint. You have really compelling revenue guidance, and we did it without diluting shareholders. And we're still trading about, $1 a share today. I see that as an incredible opportunity. Everybody's got to do their own research and make their own decisions, but it makes me excited. I wish I could trade it.
On that note, I feel like there's just so much going on within your company right now. It's just incredible. So maybe we'll just finish up. If you want to touch on some of the other stuff going on? Because I noticed that you did a partnership with Cooper Lighting, ton of other stuff. Is there anything you just want to finish up with, quickly touch on?
Yeah, nothing is ever a pivot for us. We have a 5-year roadmap, we have a 10-year roadmap. We're not going anywhere. All the management team has considerable significance, skin in the game. And so while we're building out this, blockchain enabled ecosystem, remember what that's doing. That's allowing us to incent contextual engagement, to get the right information to the right customer on the right screen at the right time in the right place. We can only do that with our core enterprise software business. So our core enterprise software business is how we deliver that engagement. And because we're hardware agnostic, we partner with these world-class, massive, companies like Cooper, and so they're actually, a business unit of Signify, which is pretty much, the Amazon of lighting. And so, as you think about smart buildings, we can enable a smart building through, and we always need signals, right? So we want to be able to identify a mobile device in time and space, and then engage that mobile device. And so part of that is being able to integrate with all of these technology offerings that are already in buildings. It might be environmental, it could be lighting like Cooper, it could be lighting controls, like an entire management IT platform, it could be access control, it could be Wi-Fi, it could be beacons, all of this, we serve all. So again, remember, Phunware as a mobile ecosystem is not a mobile application to replace them all. It's a mobile application to rule them all. And you have to do that if you're turning a space into a smart space. And so we have a lot of partners. We've already talked about, Carrier. We've already talked about HID. We've already talked about Cox. Now we have Cooper. The list is just going to keep growing. And so this becomes a really compelling competitive advantage when you look at the countless integrations we've done. Because when you go into an office space, this is why we get 75% gross margins with our platform. We've already seen it. We've done it. We've optimized the workflows. And so really exciting, going into 2022, we see a lot of activity now. We feel like we're on the kind of tail end of COVID here. A lot of people are looking to get back into the office. So they're looking at our smart workplace solution. A lot of people are looking to travel again. So, we think about smart hospitality solutions that we have. And then, obviously we still have our bread and butter around hospitals, and anywhere there's a kind of complicated user journey in the real world, we can make that journey better. We can delight customers, we can drive operational efficiency, and we can have a very real, tangible ROI for the companies that work with us.
Incredible points, man. I always love your in-depth knowledge. You can tell that you're really in the weeds on this one. So if anybody ever has any questions, always let us know what you think in the comment section below. And we can bring them up to Randall here. But in light of this, stay cool, stay awesome, and we'll catch you in the next one, good sir.
Appreciate it, Kyle. You have a good one.